A bonjour and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors to part two in a two-part portfolio review. Not review, because it's just awesome artwork. There is no reviewing it. It simply is. Part one was the new ones that I'd got. Part two is going to be two that I actually did have but have then bought new. But basically, part two are the art portfolios that I thought may be of interest, but that I already had. Because what it's prompted me to do is collect them all together in part of my sorting stuff out plan, which is obviously a constant, isn't it? When you're a collector, it's obviously, even whatever you collect in the best hobby ever, it involves either moving omnibuses around or trade paperback, whatever you want to call them, or it involves, like me, boxing up hundreds and hundreds of comics and then rearranging them when you buy hundreds more, A to Z, and on and on and on. But it's still the best hobby ever. Anyway, after my little scroll, this is what we're going to have a nice deep dive on, if you are interested. 1978, Barry Windsor Smith. I think this may have been one of the first portfolios of his artwork he released. Let me know in the comments if you know different. This was either the first or it was amongst the first. Obviously, when he went from Marvel, this is 1978, so that was, when he's done with Marvel and he set up Gore Blimey Press in the late 70s. It's called Fantastic Islands. Now, like I say, I already had this in my collection. So, but what I'm going to do is obviously put all these art portfolios stored together now. This is the first one I ever bought in 1980. I believe, I don't know if they were called Conquistador at the time in England. And I bought this art portfolio and I can remember it being a lot of money. I think I had contributions from my mum and dad and it was for a birthday or Christmas, whatever. And just beautiful. I love Elric and I love Frank Brunner. Hence, that's why I wanted it. Cody Starbuck. I don't know how many of you are going to be. You're going to be familiar with Howard Chaykin. Again, another artist whose work I've admired since just before American Flag. There was a. Actually, where is it? It was this that I bought. This, and it wasn't the Star Wars comics. Funnily enough, I didn't buy the original American run, so I would be buying a year later when they was reprinted in England. I didn't fall in love. Does this make sense? I didn't fall in love with his art from Star Wars. This, yes, this lovely science fiction. Don't know what year this was, but it's got a George Lucas right up on the back. Anyway, this is where I fell in love with his artwork. Obviously, American Flag, yes, and Cody Starbuck, obviously one of his, not one of his most famousest of characters. Neal Adams, what have I got to say? I've done the unboxing on his beautiful Batman book that's just been, or DC Classics, should I say, with obviously including his beautiful Batman work and etc. etc. This is part A. Now I have to start searching out part B and C because there's 4 plates in here and it's Tarzan. And it was the cover on the latest Savage Sword of Conan. I thought I had that piece of artwork somewhere and I haven't, but I've obviously seen it somewhere before. It's driving me mad. This I've just recently bought with the other new portfolios. Now, all of what I've just shown you and in part 1 are limited in number. They're signed by the artists. These next crop, so that is the end of kind of like the limited editions with signatures from the artist. Beautiful. These are of more commercial fare. They're more of a mass-produced, but nevertheless, still great artistry. But they've put some interest, particularly in this Watchmen portfolio. You've got the French covers of issues 1 to 12. You've got the promotional. You've got the adverts, and they've done some brilliant ads to promote Watchmen. You just don't remember them. But I certainly don't. I remember seeing a couple. But there's some beauties in here that I just thought it was worth taking a trip down memory lane. I probably won't go through the American covers, to be fair, but the French covers and the promotional posters, I think it's worth having a little gander. Needs no introduction, does it? Blew us all away, didn't he? Yeah, changed the face. Bisley changed the face of it forever, didn't he? And then we've just got these old EC. I don't even know where, I can't even remember where I ever picked these up. But there's 30 covers in here, from Tales of the Crypt, Frontline Combat. So if you're not an EC fan and you've seen all this before, to be fair, these will be at the end, just to rummage through. Yeah, no, just for the sake of it, while I'm here, and like I say, all of this stuff is going to be collated together and stored all in and of itself. I'm going to try and get some sleeves and stuff, but God knows where. Anyway, please join me after the scroll if that has tickled your fancy. Right, we'll start off with Barry Smith, or Barry. Well, he was still Barry Smith at this point, not Barry Windsor Smith. No. But Fantastic Islands, God Blimey Press, which he set up to obviously publish more of his own artwork, limited to 1,000 copies. Lovely. Only 4, I think there's only 4 plates in this. And you can tell he's coming out of his Conan era into what we'd see in Epic in the mid-80s. And some of his God Blimey Press work as well. Four plates. I don't know why. I just love collecting. You know, if you've got your favourite artists, I just love collecting their artwork. Frank Brunner. Now, I think this would have coincided with the comic, and I think they used this on issue 1, even though it was P. Craig Russell. Here we go, 1980. That's your little authenticity. There's one cut. That's one colour plate. Look, it's all gone off, unfortunately, over the years. Whatever paper stock it is, but that can't be helped. And here we go. Dragon's Dream. Conjuring the Duke of Chaos. King No. Looks like an ent. Obviously it's all cross-pollinating, isn't it? Oh, I love this one. I just love it. Obviously, then I got to recognise Brunner's artwork on Doctor Strange and, you know, a few other Marvel bits as the years went on. But in 1980, I think it was just that first plate, Falling in Love with Elric. Prince of Ruins, plate 7. So 7 plates, unusual amount, to be honest. A lovely sleeve as well. Lovely designed sleeve, even though it hasn't saved the paper from from going off. Now, Cody Starbuck. Now, I found this a bit unusual for Howard Chaykin, because his work is a bit dark in this. I don't know if you agree or if you're familiar with Cody Starbuck, but it's not what you would, and this is 1980 as well, this isn't what you would call a typical selection of Chaykin's work. Like I say, but I will show it off as an interest, you know, if you're interested. Continuity Publishing. So this would have been Neal Adams. Neal Adams firm. Love the design work in the background of that. And that is Cody Starbuck. That wasn't limited. To be fair, that wasn't limited or anything like that. This set A, good old Neal Adams. Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. To have a blank background. I know this is only the sleeve, but this is the sleeve that you put all 12 plates in. That portfolio A has only got the first 4. But the way he plays the light, the shadow from the trees, the jungle trip off of the, it's a beautiful thing. Unmistakably Neal Adams, even though it's in colour and it's not his comic book work, but unmistakably Neal Adams. (1978) this one. That's an awesome image. He's being a bit naughty here, isn't he? Set him on fire. Plate 4, like I say. That is the sleeve that all 12 plates are designed to go in. Because it says, look, includes plates 1 through 4 and 1 free full colour folder to hold all 12. So, God damn it, I've got to get sets B and C now. The hunt begins. Like I said, this isn't anything ultra exclusive. This would have been so here we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the promo posters first, because I think some of these are great. Whatever happened to the American dream, it came true. You're looking at it. The comedian, and you obviously have to be familiar with the comic, otherwise it doesn't resonate. But I think these are interesting. We're all of us living in the shadow of Manhattan, as in Dr. Manhattan. Rorschach, Love Shack, Rorschach. How do we pronounce that name? How did they pronounce it in the film? Rorschach, wasn't it? Yeah. Now I've got that B-52's song in my head. Like I say, just for a little hark back. That is the promotional work. Here we go, French covers. Let's have a look, see what difference does it make in Francais? I don't know. It's just interesting to see. I mean, I've never seen some, you know, I forget having seen, because obviously I did have this before. It's just interesting to have a look at, and it's a lot more of the colourist. It's obviously Dave Gibbons, but it's a lot more. What was the colourist's name? The Brit guy. Oh my God. Anyway, that was my brain fart for the video. But you can see more of his influence on the artwork in the background in these colouring. I thought it'd just be interesting to see different covers. Makes you wonder why they needed different covers in France. Like, what was it? You know, what was it the French needed to know? That, do you think, let me know in the comments, do you think these covers were better? Because now, as I'm going through these covers, I'm thinking they're a little bit more interesting than La Comédienne. I think I'm finding these covers a little bit more interesting than the American ones, to be honest. Sorry if it's all going all over the place. It really is difficult when it's large format. Unless you're very, very professional, which obviously you know I'm not. The American covers, yeah, I don't think we need to go through them, do we? After all this time. Come on in. A little bit of slang. I did have this before I bought the shops, and then obviously I've just reacquired it because I love Bisley's artwork. Basically, that is my excuse for wanting it, and why shouldn't I? It was just beautiful stuff. Saying the Horn God. So this is 1995, and like I say, he broke the mould. Certainly for English comics. Obviously he is a great artist no matter what side of the Atlantic he's doing work on, but definitely broke the mould. So this is 90, even though this is 95, this, what's it, but look, he signed 90, so yeah, it would have been, I think that would have been the year that Horn God was in 2000 AD. Don't know if you've seen these images before, because some of them are reproduced, you know, to death. I think particularly that first image they've used so many numerous times, you know, that it's ingrained in your head, but I don't think these are. Good old Uko. So I've seen this one before, as in I've seen it on other, but just how he, oh yeah. Right, and that was Simon Bisley from 95. Now, obviously, like I say, if you've seen these before, or you're not interested, then I thank you for your interest thus far, because I know this is a bit extremely niche. But all I'm going to do is, so we've got the covers here, Tales from the Crypt, and what I found interesting on the back of them, I won't go through every single one, but on the back is it looks like the inside front covers, look. So you've got the cover, and then you've got the inside front cover, look, with all your blurb at the bottom. But like I say, I won't go through, I won't show the back of all of them, but I'll just go through the covers one by one. Just let in this issue, the Living Corpse, Johnny Craig artwork. This was all coloured by Marie Severin as well. These were all recoloured, so obviously the original artwork, well not yet, but you know, the original covers, but all recoloured. They're just great. I think they're just great covers. That's his name that he's carving on the gravestone. Classic. Doesn't get more horror comic than that. To be fair, all that. Oh, Feldstein's on the case now. This isn't wax, this is a human hand. I love it. Quickly, lift out his coffin, he doesn't belong in our sacred graveyard. What's going on there? Oh, Bollywood. Some of the best comic book artists ever on the EC stuff. That's a classic trope, isn't it? Of horror. Time immemorial. Jack Davis. Jack Davis. Chopping his hands up for some reason. Oh, nice lurid. No wonder they got banned, eh? Lurid stuff like that. How dare they? How dare they entice us to buy comics with horrific and sexual imagery? How dare they? Right. Beautiful stuff. Right, Bradbury, look. In the comics. Uh-oh. Oh, that is a great image. That is some great artwork right there, and a beautiful image. This is how you sell your horror comics, isn't it? Oh, another lurid one. Oops, the axe is flying. She's not happy. Look, gasps in the audience. Oh my God. Back in the graveyard. Oh wow. That's another great image. And so is that. Look at the look on their faces. Look, but they're hiding what's behind the screen. Wow. That's what you call imaginative artwork on a cover. Classic Werewolf by Jack Davis. Classic stuff. Right now, and to be fair, it was the war. It's the EC War comics that I collect. This Frontline Combat and Two-Fisted Tales that I've tried over the years to get. They're so hard to get now. They really are. I don't know about the States, but in the UK, unless you want to go on eBay and just start, wasting loads of dough, or not wasting, but you know what I'm getting at. You just don't see these turn up. I've got a very, very few, but I just love this stuff. EC just nailed it. And obviously, as a kid, I would have been weaned on war comics in the UK. Absolutely weaned on it. I'm trying to think of the artist whose work this is, because he hasn't signed it. Oh, that's a second brain fart for the video. Obviously another EC stalwart, but give me no clues, are they? Let me know in the comments. Look at that, fixed bayonets. Ricochet. God, like I say about the horror comics, this is how you sell. This is how you sell war. Yeah, look, where are you going, boy? Ain't no pay expected. This would have been in the Korean War era, so it would have been Second World War stories and Korean War. Oh, nice. Oh, and obviously, here we go, Old War. Nope, them's mini balls whizzing through the trees. That's a classic one. Jack Davis, what a superb artist he was. And this is all the classic war stuff that I just love. Air Force issue, brilliant. Got this issue. First World War story. Oh, Hollywood. That's a great image. Like I say, that's how you sell. That is how you sell your war comics two-fisted tails just to round it up now, gang. Not long now, not long at all. Here I am, you bilge rat, and I'm going to wrap that ugly hook around your neck. Enemy soldier. Hold it, kid, he's been dead for hours. That's another issue I've got. Oh, just action-packed images, you know, to get it across in one image to sell your war. I mean, that's not a particularly impressive one, to be fair, but, you know, an airplane is crashing and someone is, you know, that's more like it. Wake up, we've been surrounded. Uck! Or is that UK? Another one I've got, another issue. Yeah, tell Jonesy here about your armistice. It's a beautiful cover. Not action-packed, but still, nevertheless, I mean, it's Korean War and, you know, when the weather changes and etc. That's more like it. Look, bang. Literally bang. Two-fisted tails. They've captured the ridge. Fire by sight, fire by... Another class Jack Davis cover. Look at that. You imagine Joe Kubert doing all those Sergeant Rock covers and Jack Davis on a par. 100%. You know, Joe Kubert just nailed it time and time again with Sergeant Rock. Special issue Civil War. A bit of a weird one, that. Too fair. Oh, classic wobble one. The Red Baron. More Civil War. John Severin. Yeah, he would have been doing a lot of the interior artwork at the time as well. John Severin. Recently got an art book actually on Severin's work. He'd done a lot, so much war stuff in his early days. Classic cover. Jack Davis again, I love the detail he brings to all this. Oh, Mau story. I don't think the English covered themselves in glory there, did they? If that is a story about them. But that is it. That rounds off my second episode of Portfolios. If you followed me that far, thank you so much, you sexy subscribers, you. Really do hope you appreciate the little more nichey little videos I do. And until next time, I will bid you all adios.